The Green Bay Packers are back on the practice field this week, a much-anticipated return following a disappointing end to their 2025 season at the hands of their bitter rivals, the Chicago Bears. Fans had high hopes that last year would finally mark the end of a championship drought stretching over 16 long years. Instead, the team suffered a heartbreaking first-round playoff exit for the second consecutive season, leaving many to wonder what exactly is missing from this talented roster. Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network recently shared an intriguing perspective on the foundations of a championship team, suggesting that there are 12 essential spots that need to be filled to achieve that elusive Super Bowl victory. As we dive deeper into this concept, let's evaluate the current state of the Packers roster in relation to these critical positions and determine what they have, what they lack, and who must rise to the occasion if they hope to hoist the Lombardi Trophy once again. Starting with the quarterback position, Jeremiah points to the need for a true QB1, and here the Packers have Jordan Love. The question surrounding Love is whether he possesses the ability to lead this team to a Super Bowl victory. His journey has been a roller coaster, with notable highs and lows throughout his starting tenure. Since recovering from injuries that hampered his performance in the 2024 season, Love has shown flashes of brilliance, particularly during last year's playoff game against Chicago. Unfortunately, a misconnection with Jayden Reed on what could have been a game-winning drive still lingers in the minds of fans. While Love's performance in that playoff game was commendable, the reality is that he bears the weight of scrutiny that comes with being a quarterback. The narrative around him is influenced by the team's playoff record. 3 consecutive losses since his triumphant debut against the Cowboys in 2023. It's crucial for Love to elevate the players around him, much like the elite quarterbacks in the league, such as Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, who find ways to win despite adversity. Love has shown potential in this regard, but the specter of inconsistency remains, as highlighted by last season's dismal outing in Cleveland. Moving on to the running back position, Jeremiah identifies a need for 3 offensive playmakers, and the Packers currently have 2 solid options, Josh Jacobs and Tucker Kraft. Jacobs was the heartbeat of Green Bay's offense during the 2024 season and is projected to start this year. However, a series of injuries in 2025 hampered his effectiveness, leaving fans to wonder if he can return to form. On the other hand, Kraft was on his way to an all-pro caliber season before a devastating ACL injury sidelined him. He led all Packers tight ends in key statistical categories before his injury, and has emerged as a vital component of Matt LaFleur's offensive scheme. But who needs to step up? The spotlight is firmly on wide receivers Christian Watson, Jayden Reed, and Matthew Golden. While all 3 have shown flashes of potential, none have yet established themselves as a bona fide star. It's a concerning statistic that no Packers receiver has reached even 900 yards in a single season throughout their careers. The team has maintained that they don't require a go-to receiver in critical moments. But the reality is that in high-stakes situations, elite players often need to step up and make plays. When fans think back to past seasons, names like Davante Adams, Jordy Nelson, and Randall Cobb come to mind, all players who delivered in clutch moments. As it stands, the question remains, who will answer the call when the game is on the line? The offensive line is another critical area of concern, with Jeremiah stating that teams need 3 quality offensive linemen. Currently, the Packers have just 1 reliable starter in Zach Tom. The offensive line's performance last season was heavily impacted by injuries, particularly Tom's absence. His presence on the field significantly reduced the team's sack and interception rates, and without him, the unit struggled to protect Love and open running lanes for Jacobs. The Packers need players like Jordan Morgan and Aaron Banks to step up, particularly Morgan, who is expected to take on the left tackle role this season. The coaching staff is banking on him to be ready for the challenge, as there's little room for error in a championship run. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, Jeremiah emphasizes the necessity of 2 pass rushers. Here, the Packers have 2 key players in Micah Parsons and Devontae Wyatt. Parsons stands out as a premier talent, having achieved 12 or more sacks in each of his first 5 seasons, a feat matched only by the legendary Reggie White. Wyatt, while showing promise, needs to stay healthy for the defense to reach its full potential. The 2 have proven they can wreak havoc on opposing offenses, but Wyatt's availability has been inconsistent. For the Packers to truly contend, They need players like Lucas Van Ness and Javon Hargrave to step up. Hargrave brings valuable experience, while Van Ness needs to capitalize on the momentum he built at the end of the last season. If he can realize his first-round potential, the Packers' defensive line could transform into a formidable force. Finally, Jeremiah highlights the need for 3 defensive playmakers. Parsons' name appears again, a testament to his versatility and impact on the field. Alongside him, Xavier McKinney also fits this description, despite a down year in terms of interceptions. The Packers believe that offenses are steering clear of testing McKinney, and while that may limit opportunities for him, it also speaks volumes about his presence on the field. Rounding out this segment, we're left with an array of players who are on the cusp of stepping into key roles. Ejaren Cooper, Evan Williams, and Lucas Van Ness. Each has shown glimpses of their potential, but needs to seize their opportunities this season. Cooper, in particular, has the potential to be a game changer if he can harness his pass rushing ability. The Packers are at a critical juncture. With a roster that boasts undeniable talent, the challenge lies in filling the remaining gaps and ensuring that key players step up when it matters most. The upcoming season is pivotal, and the path to championship glory hinges on the performances of these individuals. As fans, we must ask ourselves, can this team finally break through and reclaim their place atop the NFL? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the next critical updates surrounding this storied franchise. The Green Bay Packers are facing a critical juncture as they head into the new season, and the stakes couldn't be higher. With Micah Parsons likely sidelined for the start of the regular season, potentially missing the first 4 games if he lands on the physically unable to perform list, Green Bay's pass rush looks alarmingly weak. Considering the departures of Rashawn Gary, who was traded to the Cowboys, and Kingsley Enagbare, who is signed with the Jets, the situation is dire. The edge rushers that the Packers will field to begin this season combined for a mere handful of sacks last year. Just 4 to be precise. This glaring lack of a proven pass rush could spell disaster for the Packers. While their initial matchups may not feature marquee quarterbacks, any NFL starting caliber quarterback should be able to carve through a defense that fails to consistently apply pressure. General Manager Brian Gutekunst now finds himself at a crossroads. He can either take a wait-and-see approach with the young pass rushers he has assembled or opt for a more aggressive strategy, reminiscent of his bold trade for Parsons last year. Rumors are swirling that Arizona Cardinals edge defender Josh Sweat could be on the trading block, and as fans, we have to wonder if Gutekunst is listening. The connections are glaringly obvious. When Jonathan Gannon was the Eagles' defensive coordinator, Sweat flourished, posting 7.5 sacks in 2021 and a career-high 11 sacks, along with 15 tackles for loss in 2022. Now reunited with Gannon in Arizona, Sweat racked up 12 sacks and 4 forced fumbles last season, showcasing his ability to disrupt opposing offenses. Gannon is not just excited about Sweat's on-field prowess. He values his football IQ and experience. The defensive coordinator noted how players seek out Sweat for his insights because of the success he's had. Given these dynamics, it's no surprise that the Cardinals have reportedly received trade calls about Sweat. But here's where it gets complicated. Sweat's contract could pose a significant hurdle. With $38 million guaranteed, any trade would force Arizona to swallow substantial dead cap money. For the Packers, Sweat comes with cap charges of approximately $10.88 million in 2026, which is manageable, but then balloons to $18.1 million in both 2027 and 2028. However, these hefty future charges could be mitigated, as they primarily consist of base salary and roster bonuses. The trade compensation may not be steep either. Some insiders suggest that a 5th-round pick could suffice to land Sweat, particularly since he's now 29, making him an expensive option. Despite having played consistently over the past 5 seasons with only 2 missed games, there are whispers that his durability may soon dwindle. Yet, even if Sweat is considered on the decline, he is still a more accomplished pass rusher than any of Green Bay's current edge defenders, whose combined career sack total stands at a paltry 15.5. Interestingly, the Cardinals are coached by Mike LaFleur, brother of Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. When asked about the trade rumors involving Sweat, Mike downplayed them, expressing relief that he wouldn't have to game plan against such a talent. This statement underscores the high regard in which Sweat is held within the league. Statistically, Sweat ranked well among edge defenders last season, coming in at 26th in pass rush win rate and 23rd in pass rushing productivity. His ability to generate pressure without dropping back into coverage makes him a valuable asset for a team like the Packers, who are in desperate need of a pass rusher that can truly impact the game. This might be the opportunity Gannon needs to bring Sweat into the fold, leveraging their previous relationship to not only fill the void left by Parsons, but to elevate the entire defense. As Gannon himself stated last year, "I know he can impact the game," which is one of the reasons we signed him. As we look ahead to the upcoming season, the Packers must make a move to solidify their defense. Will Gutekunst pull the trigger on a trade for Sweat? The clock is ticking and the pressure is mounting. Packers fans, where are you watching from? What do you think about this potential trade? Your thoughts are crucial as we navigate this pivotal moment together. Stay tuned as we delve into the next item on our agenda. In a pivotal moment for the Green Bay Packers, the 90-man roster that took the field for OTAs this week is shaping up to be the foundation for training camp just around the corner. However, this roster is not yet chiseled in stone. History shows that the Packers haven't hesitated to make impactful moves right before critical junctures, as evidenced by the signing of linebacker Devondre Campbell just before minicamp in 2021, a decision that resulted in an All-Pro debut season. Last year, General Manager Brian Gutekunst made waves by trading for Darian Kinnard and Micah Parsons in late August, moves that addressed pressing needs. This year, we find ourselves in a similar situation, with key positions still in flux and potential for significant roster adjustments as we analyze the top 5 areas that either need substantial internal growth or a bold external addition. Starting with the offensive line, the Packers appear solid with their starting tackles. But let's temper that enthusiasm with a dose of reality. Jordan Morgan stepping in at left tackle and Zach Tom returning on the right side, having played just over half of the offensive snaps last season, means we're taking a calculated risk. Depth at this position is always a concern, and the Packers are no exception. With Kinnard providing a semblance of security as a backup for Tom, the situation looks slightly more stable. Yet, if Morgan goes down, the number 2 left tackle at OTAs, Brant Banks, an undrafted free agent from last year, raises eyebrows. The precarious nature of offensive line depth is a reality check for the Packers, a truth that resonates across the league where demand outweighs supply. Moving on to the receiver position, the Packers seem unfazed about their depth chart. The recent trade of Dontavian Wicks to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 6th-round pick indicates confidence in their current roster. Without Wicks and Romeo Dew, the starting trio now features Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Matthew Golden. While these players bring excitement, let's not gloss over the fact that their combined statistics, 134 receptions for 1,838 yards and 15 touchdowns, are merely a reflection of potential, not proven success. For context, last season, players like Puka Nacua and Jackson Smith-Njigba produced impressive numbers that outshine our trio. This disparity raises questions about whether the Packers are truly ready to compete at the highest level with such a young and relatively untested receiving core. As we analyze these developments, it's crucial for fans to engage and express their feelings. Where are you watching from? What's your take on the current state of the Packers? Looking ahead, we can't ignore the whispers of possible trades or signings that could reshape this roster. With the clock ticking down to training camp, the Packers must be proactive, weighing both internal improvements and external opportunities to address these critical needs. It's a balancing act that requires both foresight and bold decision-making. As this segment comes to a close, the anticipation builds. Will Gutekunst make a splash in the trade market? Will we see a surprise signing that could bolster the roster? The answers lie just ahead, and as loyal fans, we must remain vigilant and hopeful. If you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay updated on all things Packers, be sure to subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters in this community as we navigate the twists and turns of the season ahead. Go Pack Go!